It's also time for Cleared to Play. Our good friend Doc Pandya is here. We're going to take you inside the tent, get you updated on the latest injuries in the Bay, and proud to partner with UCSF Health on this segment as we bring in Professor of Orthopedic Surgery, Dr. Nirav Pandya. Hey, Doc, what jersey is in the cart?
Oh, right now, I'm going to do a Moses Moody jersey.
Okay.
I just worry about what's going to happen with Wiggins coming back to Moody's minutes.
Okay. Well, worried about Moody's minutes. Are you worried about Andrew's physical health after missing 9 days? What do you think?
I think for his level of athlete, I think there's going to be minimal impact on it, even if he did nothing for 9 days. The type of conditioning that he's had going into the season, the fact he's been relatively healthy, maybe there's a little bit of minute restrictions when he comes back, but for this short amount of time out, I don't think there'll necessarily be much of a physical impact in terms of how he's playing.
You look at the Wednesday game, and Giannis is coming to town, presuming that he plays. He tried to go yesterday, and he had to sit out with Achilles tendonitis. Is Achilles tendonitis one that you have to be extra cautious of because of the potential that it might turn into an actual Achilles rupture?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I know Mark was talking about that yesterday. Absolutely. Like when you have an Achilles issue, whether it's a calf issue up higher, you've got tendonitis down below, that absolutely is a risk factor for, number one, it becoming more chronic, or number two, what you're worried about is that rupture. So absolutely, anytime a player his size has that degree of issue, particularly when he hasn't had issues before and that develops, you want to be super cautious with it so it doesn't develop into a more catastrophic injury.
Doc, did you watch the video of him warming up last night?
I did, and seeing him, it wasn't like one of those videos where he was just kind of like, feeling a little bad. Like there was definitely a grimace on his face, so that is definitely something to be concerned about.
Yeah, he threw the ball, he grimaced, he limped off, he's 7 feet tall. I'm looking at that going, and this was my statement yesterday, you may have heard it, if I'm the owner of the Bucks, I'm calling him that minute and being like, you're out for a week. Is that true what I said yesterday? My perception is that the Achilles is something that sometimes gives you a little warning shot. And if there's soreness there, you really gotta be careful.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the vast majority of people who will tear their Achilles, barring some sort of weird thing like your foot gets stuck in grass, they're going to have some pain that's there beforehand, and you will say, look, my calf was bothering me a little bit. I had a little bit of soreness in my Achilles. So that's why you see when a lot of athletes will actually fall down. You look at like Durant, you see Aaron Rodgers. They don't seem super surprised. They seem more disappointed, like, oh, this actually happened. So I think a lot of these athletes will have some antecedent pain that then leads to them having that rupture. So it's not necessarily a complete surprise when it happens.
Yeah, the Drake Greenlaw one felt like a total surprise. I don't recall him having any tendonitis or any other issue, and he would just, like you said, he stepped on the grass, and that was all she wrote. All eyes for the Warriors on Steph Curry and his knee and his bursitis. What exactly is that, and what does he have to do to overcome that knee bursitis?
Yeah, so, in your knee, you've got this basically fluid-filled sac. You got them all over your body to basically help to cushion the area between the skin and the bone. So if you fall on it, you're doing a lot of repetitive activity, you can get bursitis. A lot of people get it in their elbow. Some people get it in your knee. But for a basketball player, you typically get it if you either fall on it repetitively or someone runs into you. The good news for this is that when you fall on it, or it's like a one-time event, typically the main thing is you're just getting that swelling down, not over-stressing that area, and most people will not develop it becoming some sort of chronic issue where you need surgery, injections, things like that. So for him, the time off is going to help. He even played a little bit, I think 16 minutes, so that was a good sign that there wasn't too much swelling. So barring him getting more impact on it or getting run into, I don't think this is going to be an issue for him moving forward.
Doc Pandya with us. Hey, switching over to baseball, Tristan Beck and an aneurysm in the arm. They're saying 4 months. What say you?
I think that's right around the time frame. You look at, I think David Cohn was the last big name pitcher that had this, and he was kind of out for that 3 to 4 month period. In general, the surgery for this involves you're basically, what an aneurysm is that you get this outpouching of a blood vessel, you get rid of it, and you're basically having the blood vessel heal. That healing usually takes about 8 weeks, but then you need that period of time to rebuild your strength and make sure you're not getting secondary issues like, elbow issues, you're not getting more shoulder muscle issues. So right around 3 to 4 months. The good news with this is that once you repair it, it's usually pretty much not an issue again, but you're just worried about those secondary issues popping up if he comes back too quickly.
How do you get an aneurysm, Doc? Is it just something that pops up, or is it genetic?
What actually is they look at, some of the individuals who's gotten this, and they're kind of two thoughts. One is, your pec muscles can sometimes, just the way your muscles are kind of developed and the way that you throw, will rub up against that blood vessel and cause it to weaken over time. Or sometimes what happens is the bone itself will actually rub on the blood vessel. So it's a combination of how you throw and then how your muscles and bones are set up to aggravate that area. But it's definitely not super common, although there are these reports of pitchers every couple of years getting them. This is the first one for the Giants that I know of that has ever had one.
Interesting. One more question, Doc, and it's an important one. How would you compare going on with Steiny and Goo versus Willard and Dibs?
There's a lot more yelling and emotion going on with Steiny and Goo. It's hard to get some words in, and I'm really just trying to calm Goo down and deal with Steinmetz's shots during the segment. You guys are very respectful and very intellectual, so I don't know. Appreciate it.
Are you saying that Matt Steinmetz was taking shots during the show? Is that what I heard you say?
Yeah. No, you see, just take, the classic Steinmetz shots the minute or two after I'm on. It's great. I love Matt.
Got it. I didn't know if you meant like vodka or something.
Yeah,
but,
or like in actual injections, because it is a medical segment.
It is, no doubt.
I could go for some cortisone most of the time anyway, Doc.
All right, Doc. We'll make sure you only need to call us next week, okay?
Okay. All right, guys.
All right, there it is. There it is. Doc Pandya with one emergency Pandya and one regular Pandya. The proceeding was sponsored by UCSF Health.